Hey everybody, this is James John, and we're going to have a fun time on the podcast today. Today we're going to be discussing what it takes to be a real teacher. Are teachers really the real ones, the ride or dies? We'll soon see. Then we're going to be talking about a Birmingham mayor who says that if you're a bad teacher, then you need to get out, and here's why. We don't want no lazy ones, no scrubs. Then lastly, we're going to wrap things up. We're going to be talking about funny things that teachers do to annoy other teachers. Don't go anywhere because a brand new episode of Crying in My Car starts now. Hey everybody, this is a new episode of Crying in My Car. I am James John. I'm the parent of this duo. I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Devin Siebold, who is a former teacher. He is a parent as well and comedian extraordinaire. And you guys know that because you're following him on the Bored Teachers Tour, which I'm not on, but I'm not bitter. But anyway.
I would like to also say some dates.
Here you go, man.
Let's see here. Billings, Montana, the 25th of July. Boozman, Montana, the 26th of July. Missoula, Montana, the 27th. And then we also have Baton Rouge, Beaumont, Texas, and Corpus Christi on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August. So I am really excited about those. I hope you guys can come to the tour.
I hope they can too. Now, you got to give the people a little something extra when you go to Texas because we talk about Texas a lot.
Yeah. I
do.
I usually pretend that I'm like, Devin couldn't be here today, but I'm his good old friend Daniel.
There you go.
And, yeah.
And by the way, buy Ford trucks for no reason. Now, I want to ask you a question about the tour so far. Now, you've gotten to go to a lot of different places, man, which is amazing. You got to see the country. Now, where has your favorite location been so far?
Oh, I liked Fargo, North Dakota, definitely. They were awesome. Toronto. And I love Greensville, South Carolina, beautiful city. One of my most memorable, I do remember Napa being pretty fun too.
Okay.
My favorite city in all the United States is San Francisco. So anytime we go to San Francisco, I love San Francisco.
What about it? The food?
The food, the weather, the location, just such a beautiful city.
Yes.
I mean, just so full of life. I hope they get the crime down there, because the place that we stayed at last time shut down.
Did it really?
Too crime.
Gotcha. And they do have a problem with homelessness.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it is prevalent, so you just hope they get it under control.
Gotcha. I'm just hoping not to be homeless.
Yes.
So Devin, how old are your kids? And I asked for a reason, because I want to ask you a question.
8, 9, and 11.
Okay, and they're in elementary and middle school?
Yep. Oh, okay. No, elementary, strictly going into middle school, the 11-year-old.
Gotcha. Okay, so they're going to have a graduation.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about the differences in graduation. Now, we talked about high school graduation.
Right.
We know what comes with that, the cap and the gown, all that good stuff. But there is other graduations that are just important in the family dynamic.
No, they're not.
Okay, all right. that answers that question. All right.
I mean, elementary graduation,
You don't think it's a big deal? Because, okay, do parents treat it as a big deal?
Maybe. I don't know. Parents do. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
But I think sometimes they're just like, well, this may be the only one. And
better soak it up now.
Better soak it up.
Yeah, gotcha.
That 9th to 10th grade or 8th to 9th grade might not happen,
Gotcha.
know? Yeah, I mean, I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay, you will be
I'm
there.
not going to be like, tears in my eyes. Oh my gosh, let's get this on tape. Let's have a big cake and decorations.
None of that?
I don't know. I mean, it's a mild stepping stone.
But it is a stepping stone, though. It's a milestone.
It's worth a congratulations. Wow, that's amazing. You did it.
Fist bump, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I went from 6th to 7th grade, elementary to middle, we had nothing. I mean, they were just like, bye.
Really?
Yeah, they literally were bye. And then we went to 7th grade. And then the 9th to 10th, bye. And it was nothing. So now we've gone into this celebrating constantly. They have kindergarten graduations.
That's weird.
They have stuff like that. And it's just like...
Okay. It's another celebration.
Yeah.
Now, I get the elementary...
Does it water it down?
Probably. at some point, but parents eat it up. There's a reason that people are starting to do it more and more. You got to admit, people are actually celebrating
marketing.
It. Yes, proper marketing.
They're just trying to get they're like, oh, we can, Party City's like, we can sell balloons to them 8 times instead of 2.
Absolutely. So I can give you the fact that maybe an elementary graduation wouldn't be that exciting, or it's not as big a deal. But I will say for me, I remember that my middle school graduation was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because you were starting a new chapter in your life as far as, okay, middle school was one thing, but high school is going to be different. Like this is going to be different. This is going to be just amazing. So I remember like my mom made a really big deal out of it. Like we had a party for my graduation because like you, she thought maybe this was going to be it.
Middle school graduation, I mean, there's a bit of excitement
there.
there.
Because you've heard the rumors as a middle schooler, like high school.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be so different. But for me, I thought it's just a continuation of what goes on in middle school.
See, I taught one time at a K through 8 school. So they had a graduation at 8th grade to high school, which was much more, I think, significant because those kids had been there for 9 years, a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
One
and so
spot.
that was like you're moving on to the next school after your 9 years here. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But middle school, to me, you're only there for 2-3 years most sometimes. You know, it used to be 6th, 7th, and 8th. But the middle school I went to was just 7th and 8th.
Just 2 years.
Yeah. And
Gotcha.
so, I mean, you're only there for 2 years. It's like, and we just do this.
Yeah, this ain't a big deal. I will say it's different when you go to the school for a long time.
Yeah.
Like my kids went to OXA, which is the School of the Arts in Osceola County, and it's basically it's middle school through high school.
Oh, okay.
So there's no need for a middle school graduation.
Did they do one?
I can't remember because we did so many celebrations and they were band kids, so we were at the school all the time.
Right.
So I don't even know if I was at a graduation or a performance. You know what I mean?
You know what celebration I will talk about just briefly? Because I want to get back to what you were talking about. But this is a weird celebration that I've started to see so much more that I never remembered seeing when I was a kid is the 100-day celebration. Like
I never heard of it.
Yeah, like the 100th day of school. The schools are celebrating it. And like every year we've had to do some decorations, or like our kids have to wear shirts with 100 of something on it. So like the cricket machine's going crazy.
Oh yeah.
And like literally
yeah.
my son has a shirt with 100 game controllers on it. And then 100 Minecraft guys, you know, and they do like this big 100 celebrate. And it's so weird, but the 100th day of school is celebrated so much in the elementary school that my kids are at. And I've never seen that before.
When I was
They're
in school,
like, the 100th day is coming up. We got a big celebration. But I'm like, what? The 100th day?
Because we've been here, like it's like a 90-day waiting period. Like we made it, yeah.
You're still here.
Awesome, yeah.
I've never understood the 100-day, but I mean, it's cool. The kids get into it. Again, I've never been one like enjoyment and happiness. No, let's squash it. Who am I to care? It's just,
it's not important to you.
But
gotcha.
I'll celebrate it for other people's importance.
The biggest difference between graduations has to be middle school to high school. Here's why. When you were in middle school, you would get your yearbook, and it was a cool thing to have, man. You would get everybody to sign it, but yearbooks in like middle school, if I'm remembering correctly, was like $15-$20. It was cool, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll get one. Why not? It's cheap. The yearbook in high school, completely different beast, my friend. Bro, they're like $85 or more for a yearbook.
Yep.
For memories that are on my phone.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yep.
Think about all the pictures I took on my own phone, but now you want me to pay you $85 for the pics you picked out?
The funny thing is I think that you and I,
Yes.
Or a student, could go through the school, take a picture of each individual student, and then just literally upload it to your Google Photos and have them print the book for you.
Yes.
For like $6.
Opposed to 85.
And it's color.
Yes.
And it's got,
Yes.
you can put whatever order you want. Yeah. I don't understand it.
I don't, but kids are buying them. That's why they're still making them.
And you buy it not necessarily for the pictures. I bought it for the signatures.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I wanted to go
Yeah.
around and be like, can you sign my yearbook? And then people, KIT, it's like,
Hey, stay cool.
yeah, stay cool. You
Yeah.
know? And you ever look at it and you're like, I didn't. I didn't
Not
stay
at all.
cool at
Not
all.
I stayed good. People told me stay fat. I did. So yeah, absolutely.
I love the Friends Forever, and you like show up to their house, and you're like, "You wrote it," and they're like, "I don't remember you. I don't know who you are. It's been 30 years. Why
remember that one? No, I don't.
You said we never be apart. You said keep in touch. I'm keeping in touch. we have Facebook now. I just don't think it's.
You don't
something.
need it.
We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, you can stay in contact with us. It was honestly like people had to write their phone number.
They did because we didn't have it saved in a phone or anything like that.
Yeah, and they'd be like, keep in touch, and then they'd write their number. And by the way, it was always interesting because I'd hang out with like friends of mine.
Yeah.
And like the hot girl would come up and she'd like sign your yearbook and write, her phone number, keep in touch, and then you get it, and it's like, keep in touch, and I'm like, hey, there's no number. She's like, yeah, that's part of
correct.
That's why. And it's like,
Oh.
or it's like 555. You're like, what's the Ghostbusters number?
Call it because I'm ghosting you. Yeah, there you go. So I was going to say one more thing that has to do with school and graduation, all that good stuff. I have never been one of those guys to ever attend a high school reunion.
Nope.
I've never had any desire to go back after 20, 25, 30 years. And I'm coming up on my 30 year.
I almost did one, but I think it was because it was highly organized at first and then it fell apart.
That's the thing. They're not really put together like you see on movies. It's like, hey, man, let's get together. Let's do something. Then it ends up, hey, we met at a TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
It was like 8 of us
Why
there.
don't we just all get on Zoom? Like have a conversation. Like
Hilarious.
But, the college ones, there's college meetups and stuff.
They are.
But
There
the
are.
college meetups, I feel, are I feel like there's a veil that's pulled over that it's not actually because I want to see you.
Yeah.
It's because you are all successful. I want to network with you. And I feel like that's the nefarious part of it.
Yeah.
It's like people come, and when I show up to a college meetup and they want on your name tag like what business you work for now or like what you do.
Yeah.
That's not fun anymore.
No.
It's like I thought we were here to like drink
Talk
and have fun and chill.
reminisce.
And it's
Yeah.
like now you want something from me.
You sure do.
That's an exchange that I don't like.
Or it's the other way around where they want to come so they can humble brag all night and
my
tell you how great
gosh.
they're doing. Oh,
Yeah, I can't wait to tell you all about me and what I've done.
how successful I am, how
Right.
perfect my kids and my wife may be. It's all amazing, man. I don't know if you heard or follow me on Instagram, but yeah, let me tell you.
Right.
Well, let me tell you. So I just wanted to catch up, man, and talk to you about graduation. Apparently, Devin hates graduation, everyone. So, okay. Come
Next.
on. But I'm sure you'll treat college graduation for your kids completely different.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's the big one. That's
For
where you'll go crazy.
Yep.
He'll make a post about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Pretty
be in the
much.
stands. Just giving I'm literally, I picture myself like Ricky Bobby's dad, like standing up in the last row, like, you did it.
There you go.
But no, but I'll make a big deal for Mike.
Drinking an extra tall beer for
Yeah.
no reason in a paper bag. You did it. You did it. Well, I know we always start the show off by talking about teachers, and I want to do that today. I mean, this show's dedicated to teachers, but let's have a little bit of fun, though, because I think teachers are like most, like, let's say 2-story buildings. There's levels to teaching, Devin.
Sure.
Now, I know you're the expert.
But you only gave us 2 stories. There's levels to teaching, not too high.
Not too high, though. No, I don't want you to, let's not get crazy. Now, I want to know if you're a real one, Devin. Meaning when you were teaching, were you one of those ride or die teachers?
Okay.
Because there's a little test here from the people at busyteacher.org, and it says, hey, are you really a teacher? Do you do these things? This will let you know how good a teacher you really were, sir.
Hit me.
Well, I'm going to read you some things they say real teachers do, and this is all tongue-in-cheek. I want to say that first. We're not being serious. This is a little fun we can have. And you tell me if you can relate when you were a teacher. Do real teachers actually do this?
Okay.
Okay, first thing up. Real teachers will eat anything.
Oh, eat any? You said eat. I stopped you right there.
No. Real teachers will eat anything that's left in the teacher's lounge.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay.
Any pizza, any leftover. Do you realize sometimes that like pizza will be left?
Yes.
And it won't all get ate, and they'll message and be like, "Hey, there's still pizza," and it's been sitting out overnight. And I will literally fight people to get that pizza.
Pizza.
the pizza, the donuts, the whatever it is. If
Gotcha.
I walk into the teacher's lounge and there's leftover, especially when teachers will have like a party.
Absolutely.
And there's like half of a cake. And you're like,
Oh.
oh, man, what?
Yes.
You know, like that's awesome.
Now, is it true that in the teacher's lounge, there's a whole separate set of rules that you guys follow?
No.
No, not at all. It's a lawless borderland.
We don't have a teacher's lounge anyways anymore, really.
They don't know.
No, some schools have them, but it's not. I mean, our teacher's lounge was just the secretaries would go in there and have lunch and stuff.
And that's all it was. It was basically a room, not like, okay.
Ours was like storage. Our actual teacher's lounge didn't really exist anymore. You just don't have time.
I did not know that, man.
It takes too long to walk down there. Just in your room, just
Gotcha.
eat real quick and keep going.
Gotcha. And just keep going. And hopefully you find some
There's
food.
too much on teacher's plate for us to go get a plate. Ooh, that's a shirt.
Bars. Bars. Rapper teacher. Okay. Next one. Real teachers grade papers in the car, during commercials, and at faculty meetings.
Yep, I've done that. I mean, yep.
All that.
Yeah, all the above.
Just to try to
sitting
get
in
done.
the back,
Yeah.
grading papers, taking them on the road. You know, when I'm doing comedy. I would pack them in my carry-on and get to the comedy condo and pull them out and start grading. Yep.
God bless you, man.
It takes so long to grade,
Yes.
especially high school.
Gotcha.
People forget, like when you're teaching elementary, you have 24, 25 kids.
Yeah.
High school, I have 124, 125.
And you have to get that stuff back to
Yeah,
them.
especially English teachers. I don't know how they do it.
How they read every paper.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Like I just don't understand how you can do a written assignment, multiple pages, correct every single line for every single student. It's just
they're thorough.
It's got to be hours and hours and hours.
It is.
I look forward to AI in that respect.
Gotcha.
That you can just literally shove it through a computer and it will mark it up.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
That'd be
Here
great.
you go. All right, next one. Real teachers never sit down without first checking the seat in the chair.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, okay,
Especially
gotcha.
if it's a student chair. And it's not, and I'm gonna throw a curveball.
Okay.
It's not to see what's in the chair.
Yeah.
It's to see if it's going to cut through your back because the plastic has deteriorated and broke.
Makes sense.
And so you're like, as soon as you sit down and you lean back just a little bit, then all of a sudden you feel just a little pinch or a cut or a.
There you go.
The chairs, you realize that like. There's a reason car seats have an expiration date on them because
That's
the
true.
plastic doesn't hold up.
It does not.
But yet we have chairs from 1980 that are sitting in these classrooms just falling apart on children. And you're like, how is there not 700 insurance claims a day against broken, sharp edge plastic chairs and rusty? Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Parents at home right now are like, whoa. They got an expiration date?
Yeah, they're like, yes,
I've been using this for 4 kids.
There's an expiration date because of the plastic deteriorating on your car seat. Sorry.
They're like, uh-oh.
In fact, it's illegal to resell it, by the way, so don't do that.
People
on
don't know
Craigslist.
that either. That's a great fact. Oh, they're like, what? Hey, take it down off Etsy now.
The things you learn.
Real teachers have disjointed necks from writing on boards without actually turning around.
From writing on boards without actually turning
Turn around, yeah.
I always turned around.
Did you really?
Yeah. I
Gotcha.
mean, I the thing that I would do, though, is I'd kind of, I don't know if other teachers do this, but I had a lot of whiteboards in my room.
Gotcha.
And I would basically do all the writing
Before,
and then I would unveil it as we go. Like I would like pull up the screen and be like, here's the questions. The screen always had the questions.
Okay.
So students would know there's notes over here. And if they had questions, the screen would be down. And they'd be like, the screen's down.
They knew.
And I'd pull it up and be like, here's your review questions. You turn them in before you leave. And that was, yeah.
Aw, look at that. You had a system.
I had systems.
I like that, man. You have to writing on. Now, I will say this. Not every teacher's handwriting is created equal.
No.
Like,
mine's terrible.
You have terrible?
Yeah, horrible handwriting.
Gotcha. But some teachers write like so beautifully on the board. I'm
used
like,
to
how
have-
do you do that?
I used to have amazing handwriting, and then a teacher ruined it.
Nope.
There's a science teacher.
How did he ruin it?
I used to write so beautifully. If you see
Yes.
my old writings, beautiful.
Yeah.
And I had teachers always compliment, just wonderful handwriting. And I started writing in this one science class, and I would write notes, and I'm writing, and I would get a little behind, and I'd be like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? And they'd be like, you have to write faster. You cannot
so,
write
yeah.
nice. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And I'd start to scribble a little faster and a little faster and a little faster, and it just went straight doctor.
Gotcha. So now, can't even read what you
Garbage.
write. Gotcha. Nice. You
Yep.
can't even read it. Nice. Now, I think this one's one that all teachers do nowadays, especially if you're in an elementary. Real teachers understand the importance of making sure every kid gets a Valentine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
that's important.
Yeah, I think so. You don't want to leave anybody out.
What I didn't like is they didn't let us bring in boxes.
What do you mean?
We just had Valentine's Day not too long ago, a few months back, and we had Valentine boxes for the kids to put the
We used to
Valentine
make those, yes.
in. They wouldn't let us bring it in.
You can't bring, you just
There
have to
couldn't
carry
be any
them.
sort of uniqueness about.
Oh.
They didn't want some kid having like a massive box and some kid having like a small little tiny. So
Okay.
you wish they would have told us before we bought the box.
Yeah,
Because I bought two, and
two.
I was like, I got a T-Rex and an awesome like spaceship. I was like, these are gonna be so cool. And then like we get a message, by the way, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah, I wanted to. Yeah. I'm going to use it. All right.
I just put it in my mailbox. I'm like, just put it in.
The Amazon guy's like, I can't put this in there. Here's a good one. Real teachers know the difference between what ought to be graded, what should be graded, and what should never see the light of day.
Completion work. Yeah. There's quite a few times that I'm like, you guys got to finish this. You guys got to finish this. And they turn it in, and I'm like, in the trash, you know?
Really?
Yeah. Because it wasn't necessarily that I was just giving them busy work. I'd go around and I'd check and I'd be like, oh, they got it. My goal as a teacher is to make sure they understand the concept.
That's correct.
It's not to consistently grade over and over things. So I'm walking around the room as they're completing it going, good. Oh, that one needs work. Hey, I'm going to talk to them right then and go, look, you're not getting this concept. We need to go over this real quick. And I'd work one-on-one with them. It wasn't a grade.
No.
It was simply to see if the process is processing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question on behalf of every parent out there who's a little curious. Is the myth true about busy work?
Not necessarily busy work.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would assign.
Tread lightly.
Yeah, I know.
No, good.
Sometimes there is like not necessarily busy work. The only time I ever had busy work was if I'm like, I don't know if this will last the whole class.
Okay.
So I would plan a lesson and I'd be like, maybe it'll last, maybe it won't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay. Now we'll go through these really quickly. Now, real teachers have never heard an original excuse.
Real teachers have never heard original excuse.
Can you remember any original one that you've never heard before?
No.
No. You've heard them all.
Yeah, heard them all.
Yeah.
After just 1 year. Yeah.
Gotcha. But real teachers are solely responsible for the destruction of the rainforest.
I got backlash on this.
Really?
I did a video, State of Teaching, about paper use in schools. And teachers were like, I'm going to use paper. Stop. Don't try to villainize me, you know? And I'm like, but we're using too much. And people don't realize we are using too much. There's other ways to do this.
So you agree with this?
Yeah, people printing out non-class sets. I don't understand that.
Okay, got it.
Don't print out one for everybody, especially if you're a high school teacher. You don't need 250 copies.
Got it.
You need 30 copies.
That's
you
it.
have 30 students,
Yes.
you know, and have them write it down. Have them do a little bit of extra work. And,
Yes.
you know, I get that they're then using paper, but I don't know. It's so frustrating to me to see where I used to always, when I was in the school, be so frustrated by our overuse of paper.
You would see it.
Constantly.
Gotcha.
And people would sometimes, the worst part that I hated the most, the biggest waste, was when teachers would hit print on something and print 200 copies, and then they'd leave. And then they'd come back and go, oh, it printed the wrong thing. And then they'd print it again.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, just stand right there. The first copy will come out.
Check that.
Check that. Is it good? Okay, then print the rest. Print one copy and then go, good.
Yeah.
There we go. There's the rest.
I'm good. Yeah, I did it.
You just don't, but I just never understood that kind of waste. It never
But what
made
about
sense.
the emergency that happens when the printer machine goes down?
Yeah. I mean, so I used to have backups for that kind of stuff. Sometimes I did a lot of tiny URLs. I would find it, I would upload it to my drive, and then I would tiny URL it and write the tiny URL on the line on the thing, and then I have them download it to their laptops or their phones.
Makes
and
sense.
edit it in there and then resubmit it.
That's actually smart, Devin. You could probably save a lot of money on paper having them do it.
Well, yeah, it helps. Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. All right. Well, look at that. Devin, the hero.
You try.
You speak for the trees like the Lorax. Okay, I wanted to talk about this organization really quick, man.
Okay.
That I've always preached on this show that when it comes to your student and when it comes to their grades, it starts at home. Now, there's this wonderful organization. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. It started in Missouri in 1970. It's called Parents as Teachers.
Parents as Teachers.
Yes.
I don't know that I've heard of it.
Okay, here's what happened.
I've never seen it in action, that's for sure.
Okay. Ouch. I'm right here. Here's what happened. In Missouri, they noticed back in the 70s that they were getting students enrolled in kindergarten, but they were all coming in at different levels of kindergarten ready, meaning what they already know. Now, a lot of parents are shocked to even hear this, but there are certain things that your kid needs to already know when they get to kindergarten. Some type of training, whether it be with colors, numbers, letters, something. They need to come in with some kind of foundation. Now, they noticed this in Missouri, and this is how it got started. They actually went to the government, got a couple of grants, couple of things, and they had this foundation, and they started this program that has lasted all these years, and now it's in 6 different countries.
Nice.
And basically what they're doing is trying to give parents a leg up, trying to give them some kind of foundation where they can teach their kid things before they actually get to kindergarten.
Okay.
And the hope is this, that it will not stop when they get out of kindergarten. It just continues. You can work with your kid and do different things.
Well, I know there's statistics that show that kids do better in school when they're introduced in pre-K,
Yes.
but this is kind of like in the home. And I'll incriminate myself and say that while I was a teacher, some teachers think just because you are a teacher, you're going to be a good parent. And that really wasn't necessarily true because I was used to teaching middle and high school kids.
Yes.
I did a little dabble in elementary for a while, but my kids, when they're first growing up, I'm trying to be dad. I'm trying to do dad things.
Yes.
And I'm not really thinking ahead like, oh, they need to be learning right now, especially because my kids came up when the pandemic happened.
Yes.
And so I have kids that are supposed to be in pre-K that are now home with me. How do I help this pre-K kid?
That's right.
I'm used to high school kids. What should they be learning?
Yes.
What should their baseline be? How do I get them to that baseline? And so I could see that this would be something
And they
good.
actually answered those questions. I'm glad you said that about a baseline, because there's certain things they say that your child should know when entering kindergarten. And you're thinking, well, it's kindergarten. But it's important. And if you get your kid used to, before actually going to school, learning, it's not a big leap for them, and it's not something that throws them off. It's like, no, I want to learn because my mommy worked with me, my daddy worked with me, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Just makes it easier for the whole process.
I think overall as a society, our main problem that I see is that people think that learning only takes place in school.
That's a misconception.
And that outside of school is just for sports and recreational and social. And there's so much more learning opportunities that are there. And to parents need to get involved in helping their kids learn more, not just homework, but what can you do?
Yes, absolutely. And I give my wife a lot of credit. I always say this. It was because of her.
Are you contractually obligated?
Yes, I am.
I think your wife is like,
absolutely.
So I have to say, I will let you take the position as podcast host, but I must be credited every episode.
It's like you were there. Look at
Well, she had me sign the same contract.
I know.
She's like, let him talk about it.
Let him talk about it. But there was somebody there when the kids were home and before they went to school and after that worked with them. I mean, that's just a big thing. And they do say that, I want to read this quote here for research. Students with involved parents have a 98% average school attendance rate, which contributes significantly to academic achievement, a high attendance rate, and has major impact on that child's development.
Good.
Yeah, so it's just
out
there. Get involved is what I'm saying, parents. There you go. There is a study out there by a young lady that writes for the New York Times, Miss Jessica Gross, and she was explaining why people don't want to be teachers anymore, and I found it very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, honestly. Now, of course, you think money.
I think it's so funny that we do studies on this.
Yes. Someone has.
I think we know answers.
Yes, we do.
But we just have to get it in a journal.
We do. For people to listen to it.
Right.
Or did you read this study?
Right.
Oh, there's a study?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Turns out everything I told you, this lady said the
It's
same
true.
thing. Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course you think money, right? But it's
part of it.
It's not all that. It's changed a little bit. They're saying in the last couple of years, 3 to 4 years. And they're saying one of the biggest things that are making people not want to be a teacher is fear.
Oh, okay.
Fear. And what they mean by that is offending a parent, offending a coworker, saying something to a student that can be misconstrued as something else, not being able to talk about certain rights, certain social issues.
In Florida, things, not even being allowed to read certain books.
Yes.
I read that book to my class. I thought it was a good book. Well, now it's not.
No.
And you're fired.
There you go.
You know?
And it's gotten to the point now where even if you are asked a question by a student, you can't talk about certain things. You
Yeah.
have to just, I can't touch that subject. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Because even if you did respond and you didn't bring it up, you're still held accountable for it.
Yeah.
So it's fear, she's saying nowadays, is what's keeping people from wanting to be teachers.
I believe it. And
Yeah.
I mean, I remember encountering some of that stuff that I probably couldn't even handle the way I handled it today, the way I did back then.
Yeah.
Like, I remember some students would occasionally, you teach high school, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going through some stuff with my boyfriend," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And they're like, "Yeah, he did this," and I'm like, "Break up with him." That sounds like a terrible person. And
You
they're
can't
like,
say that.
And the next day they're like, "I broke up with him, and I'm so happy,"
Yeah.
And it's like, good. And but nowadays I'd be like, well, I contractually cannot discuss anything with you. I apologize. Enjoy your happiness that is not going to exist because you're making the wrong decision.
Yeah. And goodbye. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go, man. All right. There's something else I wanted to talk to you about. Because that's pretty much what she summed it up to. Was fear.
Yeah.
Fear, getting people out there. And money. Let's just put
money.
that out there. Money. Pay them more money. This is something that I read that caught my eye because I've never heard a mayor speak about teachers this way.
Okay.
Mayor of Birmingham, his name is Randall Woodfin. Okay.
That sounds like the mayor of Birmingham.
Randall
Just so you
Woodfin.
know, I feel like that's an obligation that his name wasn't that. It was
No.
like Kyle, but they were like, as mayor, you have to go by.
And he did. He complied, if you would. Now, he was worried because what's been going on, they've been having a rough time with the school district. Like he said, the school district had a D rating as far as their schools, and they did get it up to a C. But he's not happy with that. He said that's just bare minimum. C is an average, and we don't want the kids to grow up thinking that just being
Get an average education.
is the thing, or being complacent, or just being average in your workplace or home life. No, I want to encourage these kids. So he had a rather stern message for all the teachers out there.
Oh.
Yes, he said, if you are a teacher in the Birmingham City schools and you are lazy and you're doing the bare minimum and you don't care anymore about the children that come to your class, please resign. He went on to say, please leave. We don't want you. That's pretty dang direct if you think about it, man. Some people got mad, and he said, I don't care. He goes, you have to be fully invested in the kid's future if you want to be a teacher. Now, I wanted to get your opinion on that because I see you already making a face.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I mean, obviously, you don't want lazy teachers.
No.
If your heart's not into it, you're probably not only not fit for this job, but you probably are also already looking outside of there.
Yeah.
So I think that with teaching, the trash usually sees itself out because it is very hard to handle when you are a lazy teacher.
Yes.
Very hard to handle when you're not invested because you've got parents coming to you that are invested.
Yes.
Administrators that are looking for you to be invested.
Yes.
And you will be outed very quickly as the teacher that doesn't care.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I think that the way he did it is probably
A little aggressive.
It's kind of calling you lazy. It's like, so we got some lazy people here, and they're like, oh, great, he's talking about me, or he's talking about my friend, or, we're just trying to get by, and you're sitting here, being negative. Obviously, you don't want negativity in leadership.
You don't.
You want leadership in leadership, which is pointing in a positive direction.
Start with the praise. Hey, I want to thank all you dedicated, wonderful teachers out there who really make a difference in these kids' life.
Yeah.
There are some that we could do better.
Especially
There's
when
some.
you're short on people.
Yes.
Like when you
Don't
have
leave.
a shortage.
I need you. Yeah.
I mean, like, that's
Yeah. I think with a lot of things, even in life, man, approach
right.
is everything. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that's not the right way to do that.
It's like if Charlie got to the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Yeah.
all these other children have been killed, and he's and Willie's like, Charlie, if you're lazy, why are you here? And he's like, wait a minute,
Wait, I won.
all those other people left.
did bad things.
I'm still here,
Yeah.
and you're calling me lazy.
Yeah.
I've went through
Yeah.
all that stuff you put them through. I think it's one of those things where all that stuff that we've been put through, if we're still here, it's almost insulting to go, some of you are still lazy. Do you realize what we've already done?
Yes.
I mean, that's like sitting there at the end of the finish line and somebody from American Ninja Warrior crosses the line and you go, you're kind of out of shape. And you're like, what?
Did you
just
see what I
did that.
did? I climbed a wall.
Yeah.
A
So
30-foot wall.
I think it's that
Yeah.
mentality of it's almost insulting after
Gotcha.
everything we've been through.
Gotcha. Especially if you're not even doing what they do. You're not in the
Yeah.
trenches with them. Yeah, that's a better way to rally the troops, if you would.
Yes.
Okay. Let's have a little fun. Now, there's a article written here by Angela Barton, and she's part of this group you might have heard of called Board Teachers.
Never heard of
Got
them.
it. Okay.
Are they new on the scene?
They are new on the scene, if you would.
I'm just kidding. Board Teachers is great. Got my mug.
We are a walking commercial. Okay. It's just something fun we can do, Devin. This is 15 things teachers do to drive other teachers crazy.
Okay.
Okay.
I see them post articles a lot.
Yeah.
I get that they get a lot of traction because it seems pretty relatable. So
It's definitely
I don't
relatable.
read often the articles.
Okay.
And it's nothing against board teachers or the people putting them out. It's just I'm very much a visual person. There's some people that love to read stuff. I'm like, can you show me the video part of it?
Got it.
Where the people are discussing it?
Got it. And then I'll get it. I'll
Yes.
retain it.
So,
There you go.
James, now you will be my video. So read it to me. And,
Thank you. I'm glad you're on my good side. Okay. Okay. Tell me if this really made you annoyed by other teachers when they would do this. When they
Okay.
would, number one, brag about their test scores.
So no.
Okay. You wouldn't get mad at that because
No.
they're just proud.
They're proud
of their
of it.
achievement.
Yeah, and,
Okay.
and not only that, but as a teacher that wants my students to succeed, I'm going, oh, you got high test scores? How'd you do it?
What'd you do?
That's the difference
Okay.
between there's certain teachers where you go, you know what, my scores were this, and you have people go, braggart, you know?
Yeah.
And then other people go, how?
How?
And
What'd you do?
Yeah.
Gotcha. How did you do it? Best
Exactly.
practices. Share
Best
them with me, man.
practices,
Because I just want to get
PLCs,
the
all that
same
good
thing.
stuff.
Okay. When they pretend to be an administrator.
Yeah, when you think you have more authority and I know your paycheck is the same as mine, I am discounting you left and right.
There you go. I can
Yep.
see that one being a problem. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've all worked any job where there's a guy that has the same job as you or the same
We
level
are
of
getting
responsibility.
paid the same.
And you want to be the boss. No, sir. They would have chose you to be the
Yes,
boss if you truly were.
exactly.
Okay. Now, this is going to be sensitive. A teacher that goes on an unsolicited political tirade.
Okay, yeah, I never really liked that. It got more common towards the Hillary Trump election.
It got a little crazy.
Pre that, I never had a problem with it. You know, it's
Gotcha.
like I said, politics kind of creeped into our lives. But when I'm sitting in the hallway and the guy across from me goes, "Man, that dang Hillary,"
Yeah.
and then starts, and I'm like,
And it's not even facts. It's just opinions.
yeah, it's just misinformed, or you know, and even on the opposite side, man, that dang Trump. You know,
Yeah.
I just didn't want to hear any of it.
No,
I'm
no.
at work.
Did you see her pantsuit? I rest my case.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, a teacher that talks down the student.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
No
There's
one
some
likes that.
teachers that were so authoritative, like very authoritative, especially like in the hallway and stuff. And I don't know. I'm not on board with that.
Yeah.
Because then you don't get respect, and it's not even about the respect necessarily. It's just treating another person like a human.
There you
know?
go.
They're not beneath you. They're just not old yet.
Yes,
They're
yes.
just kids.
That's it. They're
Yeah.
just like you. That's right.
You were there once.
Yes, you were. Many moons ago. All right. This one's a good one. It goes back to, thinking you're the boss. Criticize other teachers for leaving early or staying late.
Yeah.
Being the timekeeper.
I one time left early.
Yeah.
But I got approval to leave early.
Okay.
And I left at 2:45, and we were supposed to stay till 3. I don't know. And I just got in my car and I left. I had a doctor's appointment or something.
Yeah.
And before I left the parking lot, I got an email from one of the secretaries going, were you just leaving early? Were you just, and I'm like, who messaged you? Why do you care?
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah. You know what? This is my business here.
Yeah.
Here's yours.
And plus,
Yeah.
what I had a crew. We had a crew in the hallway, and there was an unspoken, if you're a little bit late, just come over, unlock my door, and let the kids in, and just stand outside for a little bit, or stand outside with the kids. Sometimes, let's say you're my neighbor teacher.
sense.
You're my neighbor teacher,
I'm your neighbor.
and you're running a little bit late. The bell has rang. Your kids are outside. I go, oh, hey, kids. Come on over to my class for just a little bit. And then I would just send you a quick text, James, I got your kids. Don't worry about it. Hopefully you're on your way.
You're looking out for each other. Yeah.
But then there was also those snitches that would be like, boom, front office. Yeah, it's 8:01 and Siebold is not here. And I'm like, I couldn't stand those people. Like, we're human. It's fallible. Don't bring my principal into it.
Yes.
You know?
Why do that?
Yeah.
Why be the...
I'm on my way.
I'm gonna tell on you.
One time I wasn't on my way, though. I was asleep.
Okay. Oh, all right.
But I was on my way later.
Gotcha. Yeah, you were.
My alarm didn't go off.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
It happens.
It does. Make an entire month's worth of copies to peak copying time.
Yeah.
You talked about that.
Yeah, especially in the morning.
Yeah.
Do not make class copies in the morning. You print on the go.
That's right.
If you want to print something in the afternoon, go for it.
Yeah.
Morning time, that's for the slackers. That's me. I'm in there going, oh, I got 6 minutes. Oh my gosh, I got to print this out. And if I see you in there like, oh, I'm just planning for 3 weeks from now, I'm like, get out of my way.
Yes. Yeah. Get up. I'm trying to get there. I'm gonna be late again.
Right.
There you go. Okay, last two real quick.
Sure.
Kiss up to admin.
Oh gosh.
I know you had some of those.
Yeah, we had one that kissed up to admin constantly.
Yeah.
And not only did they kiss up to admin constantly, they eventually got a district position that was over us.
Oh, that's the worst.
And they were not a good teacher, comparatively speaking. It was always movies and stuff. How did you get advanced? You went beyond because you sucked up to admin.
Gotcha.
There was one teacher, she should have been fired a long time ago, and then she kissed up to admin and she got promoted. You've been promoted.
Of course. That's
You're
how it
now
works.
my number one employee.
Aww.
Because you sucked up.
That's right. And you snitched on Devin being late.
Yeah.
And this is the last one, but I think this is a good one. You ask a question at the end of a staff meeting.
I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem
Really?
with specific questions.
Okay.
If we're told how to grade certain things and you raise your hand and go, so I have a student that, no. That is a classroom specific question.
Yes.
It is not for us.
Everybody.
You need to go up to them after we are done.
Okay.
And then ask. If you say, hold on, you were not clear on this and it's relevant to the entire thing we just talked about. Okay. I'm not mad at you. In fact, it might be something that I was wondering too. But when it's specific to what you're
Your
doing,
classroom?
Teaching, so for U.S. history, do we? No, we're not. We don't all teach U.S. history.
No.
You go up
Yeah.
after.
That's as bad as reply all.
Yeah.
Got it.
Got it.
Got it, man. So, Devin, man, how can everybody follow you at home?
DevinComedy.com for all the upcoming tour dates, including the Board Teachers tour dates in Billings, Boozman, and Missoula in 25th, 26th, 27th of July, Baton Rouge, Beaumont, and Corpus Christi the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August. Those tickets are on sale now, and they need you to go buy tickets before they sell out, because they all do.
Beautiful. Now, you guys can always follow me the same way, James Young Comedian, on Instagram and Facebook. And I always forget to say this, on TikTok. That's right. I'll make funny videos now. I'm dropping them every Wednesday. That's right.
Talk of the ticks.
The talk of the ticks, if you will. So please follow me and go there and have some hilarity.
Yep.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next week.
There might be a clip up there. There might be a clip down there. If it's got our face, if it's other people's stuff, come back. Don't click on that. But us. Suggested things, that's us crying in my car. Devin Siebold, James Yon, Board Teachers, watch. New trailer for Indiana Jones. No, don't do that. Don't do that.